Welcome, everyone. I am so delighted that you are here. Today, I wanted to talk about creating a change-ready organization. Yeah, we've been through a lot of changes over the last little while, and so creating a change-ready organization seemed like a great topic to start with. Now, let me be clear about what I mean when I talk about a change-ready organization, because for you leaders that are out there, it doesn't mean that you can lob one change initiative after another out to the organization and your employees are going to accept and embrace all of them. That is not the way any of us are wired. What a change-ready organization is an organization that has learned to thrive because of change, where leaders and people become healthier and stronger, and so does the organization because of change. Unfortunately, that's not what most organizations have. What most organizations have is they have taught their employees and the people in their organization to be afraid of change, to fear change, to associate change with pain, discomfort, upheaval, and chaos. And that has led to creating a large number of organizations that are change cynical. And that's happened because of the way decisions have been made about the change, the way you leaders have prepared and focused on engaging people with the change, or rather doing change to people instead of with them, and how change has been implemented. And as a result, employees have begun to associate change with pain, discomfort, uncertainty, stress, disruption. And let's face it, none of us would go running toward any of that. So when you've created that, you often have employees and people in the organization that are more hesitant to engage with change, that tend to protect and defend the current state, are slow to look towards something new because of that fear and discomfort. On top of that, when those kinds of things occur, leaders end up labeling those behaviors, those protective behaviors, as resistance to change. None of that is resistance. What it is learned survival. We've learned to protect ourselves from the pain and disruption of the way changes are organized, implemented, and flow through the organization, at least in the change-cynical organizations. That's why becoming a change-ready organization is so powerful and so helpful for you, because it will allow you to respond more quickly, to create engaged, dynamic employees and organization that can respond to shifts in the environment, to the way you need to move in order to stay relevant, productive, and grow. And that's what a change-ready organization can do for you and why it's so valuable. But to get that change-ready organization, leaders need to think differently. They have to let go of traditional mindsets. They need to do things, different things in different ways. That's what's required to create a change-ready organization. And that's what we do in our courses. And for example, in our Tensible Rules course, what we do is introduce leaders to a new way of thinking about change, about resistance to change, how to adopt new ways of interacting with change and with their employees as they go through change, so people can feel more prepared, supported, and the leaders can feel more in touch with what's happening in the organization and create that change-ready organization. So let's talk about the key differences between a change-ready organization and a change-cynical organization. And probably one of the most important differences is the way change is viewed in the organization. In a change-ready organization, employees are the people that are required to move through change, don't feel a sense of loss, and certainly not a loss of control. They feel that they have control and that they're participating with the organization to create that change. They don't feel overstressed or overwhelmed by the changes. The changes feel well within their control and their capability to move through. Contrast that with a change-cynical organization where their focus is on maintaining and defending the current state. They tend to feel that sense of loss instead of something to move toward. They focus on what they're losing and what are the negative aspects of moving towards something new and different. The leaders that are involved in a change-cynical organization often experience high levels of negativity. They're often frustrated with the way people are engaging and responding to the change. Another key difference in the two types of organization is the capacity that each organization has for change. And that's what we call organizational change capacity. In change-ready organizations, there's a high level of change capacity versus the change-cynical organization. So why is this important? Well, change capacity is the ability for your organization to not only lead and manage and successfully integrate the current change that is going on in your organization, but your ability to do that while maintaining your daily operation and at the same time setting yourself up to be able to better lead and integrate future changes in the organization. Because what we know, no matter how much change is going on in our lives, in our organization today, it's not going to stop. Change is an essence of what allows us to grow and feel stable and strong. So there will be future changes. In change-cynical organizations, that capacity is very low. And that really sets up two key problems for the organization. First, when you have low levels of change capacity, it's really hard to be successful with even your current changes, because what happens is we create a dynamic or conflict between our daily operation and the new changes that we want to implement. And as a result, when that conflict arises, the natural human tendency is to default to what we know, and that is the status quo or the current state, the way things are now. And then the changes and the activities and behaviors related to those changes tend to slowly slip away and fall off the table. The other problem that low levels of change capacity create for an organization is it then makes it more difficult to integrate future changes, because you start to create a history of unsuccessful and failed changes. So again, you perpetuate that cycle of failed changes and that fear of change and the effort that's required. So a change-ready organization allows you to create that capacity for change because of the way change is done in the organization. All right. So one of the first things, what can we do about this? You know, we think about this, okay, that's all really great. And I hope by now you're thinking, yes, I want our organization to be a change-ready organization. What can we do? Well, one of the first actions, one of the first things that we do, and we help leaders do, we teach leaders how to do, is to adopt a readiness mindset. We teach them how to adopt and use a readiness mindset in order to allow people to become more receptive to change, to not feel so fearful as change is introduced into the organization. where we can begin to create the environment that change is a necessary part of organizational life and growth, but leaders are thoughtfully, consciously initiating, planning, and preparing people for it from a readiness perspective. That's one of the key things we do in all of our courses. For example, in 10 Simple Rules, one rule is completely dedicated to helping leaders adopt that readiness mindset. All right, so if one action is to adopt a readiness mindset, then what is one other thing that you can do? Well, I mentioned previously that in order to create a change-ready organization, to move from that change-cynical organization to a change-ready organization, we first have to think differently. That is, that adopting of a readiness mindset. And then we have to learn to do different things in different ways. And that means we need to create a base of knowledge, skill, new tools, new templates that help us lead and manage with, in, during, and around change. And what research has shown time and time again is that the skills that we have and need to manage the operational environment are not enough when it comes to change. In order to lead and manage change, to support people and get that level of engagement that's so prevalent in a change-ready organization, leaders need to be able to be comfortable navigating in what I call the white space. And that means getting the knowledge and skill to deal with the ambiguity, the uncertainty, the emotional elements that come with change. How to create the kinds of plans and activities that will support people throughout the change process, and then what's required to maintain those new activities until they become normal. So a key action is to develop and grow your change management and change leadership knowledge and skill set. That's where we can help. We offer a variety of courses depending on what you're looking for to help you create that change-ready organization, to help you develop that knowledge, that skills, and give you tools and templates that will help guide your decision-making and help you engage the people in your organization to work with you. Tensible Rules is one example of the courses that we offer. It's an introductory course that gives you 10 simple but very powerful rules that provide a structure and a means for going forward. All right. A change-ready organization holds a lot of power and will allow you to create an organization that is responsive and connected to the dynamic environment we are all now living and working in. And just one key thing to keep in mind as you look at this and think, wow, sometimes it feels like a lot of work. It takes just as much work, just as much energy, just as much time, and just as much resources, as many resources to create a change-cynical organization as it does to create a change-ready organization. However, the return on your investment for that effort, if you move forward to create that change-ready organization, is worth it. You will get far more from your organization when you work to develop their skills and yours to create that change-ready organization than you will when you inadvertently, because I don't know any organization that does it on purpose, when you inadvertently expend the resources and energy and create a change-cynical organization. I hope that this session has inspired you to think about change differently, to think about what you could do to create a change-ready organization, to inspire you to check our courses and some of our work out, because we would love to be able to help you create that change-ready organization.